The BumbleKast is for entertainment purposes only. The host's comments and opinions, and those of their guests, are wholly their own and do not represent that of any other entity. Content is provided as is, with no guarantees of accuracy or timeliness.
Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Kraus.
What's up, Drogooners? Hope you're having fun with Drogoon.
If you have no idea what you're talking about, head over to drogoon.com, drogune.com. It's a new science fantasy epic by me and Adam Bryce Thomas. It is good. Lots of people enjoy it. I think you would too. So go do that after the show. Now, we're doing Q&A.
Yes.
Q&A that comes from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Let's not waste any time and get Drogoonin right now with this one from Andrew D. This question's not about Drogoon. Hypothetical hopeful Switch 2 version of Smash Ultimate with all content plus new fighter packs. What are each of your personal most wanted 5 characters? Are there any left?
I mean, I know that there's already a severe lack of anime RPG swordsmen in the game, but personally, I would like to see Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia be more than just a Mii skin. I think he has earned that right. Symphonia was like the RPG of the GameCube, and it was one of the tentpole titles for the franchise.
Yeah.
So I think he deserves to be in there. If not him, maybe Sagi out of Baten Kaitos Origins, another good Bamco RPG and a very good protagonist. And you know me, give me Skies of Arcadia, give me Vice.
Yeah,
it would work. It'd be cool. I want
it. I mean, I still want Shantae and Shovel Knight.
Yep.
Either of them would be real nice. Both of them would be amazing. Let's see. And think of what else.
I've been saying this ever since Ultimate came out. Dr. Eggman as a heavy Bowser Jr.
Yeah, that's true. That would be a good one.
Not that I want over-representation of, third-party characters, but he's one of the most iconic villains in video gaming history.
Right.
And to that end, Chun-Li.
Yes. How about a rabbit? Put a rabbit in there.
I will acquiesce to the idea of it being an assist trophy.
Okay.
If Rabbit is a playable character before Rayman.
Okay. Rayman would be Rayman stream seems like he'd be better. Strider Hiryu, that's a good one. Crash Bandicoot. I'm kind of surprised that one didn't happen.
Watch, it's gonna be Bubsy.
I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. Whatever. Yeah, I kind of doubt they're doing any more Smash for a while, though. I don't know.
I'm content with what we have with Ultimate.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't see any need to go any further right now. We are getting toward the bottom of the barrel when it comes to characters who are reasonably you could reasonably include. I
mean, there's gimmies that I would maybe want to see, like Dixie Kong in there for a little more DK rep.
Yeah, true.
And there's one or two here or there that would be fun, just so you don't have a one-off. Maybe not a couple F-Zero characters, but what we have is really good, and I don't really see room to make a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
It already did everything.
Just about, yeah.
I mean, you could maybe add back in gameplay modes like Subspace Emissary or the Smash equivalent in the DS version. Those would be neat, but it's in terms of roster and just sheer amount of content.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate game.
Smash doesn't have Hatsune Miku though, so
it does not.
Nope. Never mind. Forget it. It's imperfect. Put it away.
Next up, we have a question for you, Kyle.
Ooh.
This one comes from And Tails, and they say, here's a question for you, Kyle. Goodness, I'm like that predictable. I've been listening to KNGI a bunch. Clearly, And Tails is a person of culture.
Yes.
It's helping me keep sane while maintaining a home with a toddler. Oh, you poor individual.
Boy.
And I'm wondering about the process for which you go about updating the playlist. How do you decide which official and fan-made songs to feature, and what goes into maintaining a 24/7 video game music stream? I always appreciate how you manage to keep the playlist fresh. Thanks.
I'm guessing you just haven't run into too many repeats yet, because it's actually been a while since I've updated the 24/7 streaming playlist. So, yeah. I should probably do that one of these days, but
you've got like 20 years of content on there.
Well, no. This is all just music. This isn't reruns of episodes.
Oh, the show itself.
Yeah. This is the stuff that's on rotation 24/7. That's running music that's going. That's what entails us talking about it. At least that's what it sounds like.
Well, clearly I need to go to kngi.org and refresh my memory on all the incredible musical content that's featured on that website.
Yes, indeed. Tune into the 24/7 live stream of video game music, arrangements, remixes, sometimes original stuff, sometimes not even video game related directly. Sometimes it just happens. But yeah, what do I decide? Well, do I like it? That's kind of my main driving factor. Do I enjoy it? I always try to be cognizant of like not putting too much of one artist on there, so it's not like repeating the same person's remixes or songs all the time. Actually, I think I have it set up so it only plays like a song a day from one artist, so it doesn't repeat the same person over and over again. But I mean, other than that, really, it's like kind of like, well, is this a good song? Do I enjoy it? If I do, then maybe you do too. I mean, my tastes are subjective. Sometimes my tastes get weird. But I mean, other than that, really, it's like, do I like it? Do I think it'll be a good track for what we've got going on the KNGI 24/7 live stream? And that's how it ends up. Usually I try to go for tracks that are a little bit more upbeat and I guess sort of radio friendly. I don't go for things that are too slow usually. Sometimes I throw a little bit of lo-fi in there, but even then it's still something that I think is very melodically driven. That's what I tend to go for. So other than that, I mean, that's it. Do I like it? Then it probably will go in there. This one is from KB. Thoughts on the Super Mario Galaxy movie Direct?
I didn't watch the whole Direct. Did you?
I didn't watch it at all, no.
Okay. I saw the movie, the trailer for the movie itself, but I didn't watch the whole Direct.
I didn't even get that far, but I hear Brie Larson is the voice of Rosalina.
Apparently, she doesn't speak in the trailer.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm kind of okay with that personally.
It's fine. If you're still holding out hope for really accurate voice casting for the Mario movies, I don't know what to tell you.
She speaks in the Direct. Oh.
Okay. It's not really a big thing on my radar. I saw the movie eventually, and it's like, it was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It had its occasional moment. I will probably see the sequel eventually, but not really my thing, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Apparently, Brie Larson sent someone to sleep on the couch over a Mario game, so she must be a Mario fan.
Okie dokie.
Good. It was over Galaxy. She kicked. I'm being told by Strawby that she kicked her man out over Galaxy. Well then. How convenient. All right, question for Comic the Hedgehog. You were offered $1 billion to complete one very difficult task. Spend an entire week babysitting Princess Morbucks, Elmira Duff, Doofus Drake, and a rabbit. All of them must be alive and uninjured by the end of it. Do you take the deal, and will your household survive?
I will pay you $1 billion to not go anywhere near that. Yes, absolutely not.
Apparently, you don't have to be alive at the end of it.
Well, if
Only
I wanted to actually receive the $1 billion, then yes, I would. Would I want to? That's the question. The answer is no.
I think they're anticipating you will not be. That's why they're subjecting you to this.
I know. Now, we've established against my will that the rabbits are nigh indestructible.
Right.
So whatever damage it sustains, it will be presumably healed by the end of the week. That's not the concern. And you could potentially put it in proximity of Elmira, and they would take care of each other. She would want to snuggle the bunny thing. It would be unhappy about this. Antics would ensue. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is Morbucks and Doofus Drake, who both have ungodly amounts of money and a killer instinct. So they would immediately turn on each other and probably wipe out small countrysides in their attempts to one-up each other. I ain't dealing with that. No, I refuse. Keep your $1 billion. I will find some other way to launch the Drogoon Empire.
Oh, well, fine. Corvell has a question. Ever since playing Mega Man X4, I've been really curious about how you would have written Iris in the Archie comics, since she's a favorite of mine. How would you have expanded her personality, character arc, and especially the significance of her relationship with Zero?
That was something I was really looking forward to untangling. Mega Man Extreme 2 would have to come first in the adaptation because that's where she first meets X and Zero. And there would have to be sufficient time between that and X4 for her and Zero to get to know each other as well as they do. I'd like to explore her fear of humans and how much of that, is in English translation of the time and how much is it in the actual original Japanese. What does she do then?
Uh-oh. Leah's correct.
Why does she want to live in a world without them?
Because humans suck. I want to live in a world without them, too.
I would have to go back and see where I'm getting that fear angle from. But point is, she don't like humans. And why? And to what degree, if she's working with Repliforce of all things. So exploring that aspect to her. And why does she and Zero connect? I mean, we know why she falls for Zero. I mean, come on. That's a given. Look at him. But why does Zero, who doesn't seem to really be passionate outside of his own need for battle, and even then he's pretty chill about it. It's like, hey, I'm going to kick your ass. Boom, done. What is it about her that gets him interested in her to get to know her better and would be so distraught with her death? So lots of character investigation and build up and exploration and whatnot.
Oh, what they probably should have done originally, but didn't?
Well, there's only so much you could do with the style of gaming technology at the time.
I get it, but at the same time,
I mean, for all I know, there's like some Japanese exclusive radio play or manga or some other tie-in that actually does all of that. And
I'm not so sure.
Maybe not. Probably not, but it's a possibility.
Yeah. Well, maybe back when Capcom actually produced Mega Man content. I don't know. What I do know is we got this one from Double L. It's the longest text adventure of our lives. To recap, me and Ian share a lizard body. We're in a science-y room that is being gassed. We have 5 dust bunnies and 2 bite-sized mini mice in our inventory. Our previous actions were to attempt to use our powerful lungs to blow the gas back through the tube. Combining your powers, you attempt to blow into the tube spewing gas. You inhale and bring a ton of air into your lungs. As you bring the tube to your mouth, you realize that it is hard to purse your lips with your large, powerful jaws. While a human could easily push concentrated air in a stream from their face hole, you are not human. You start to get dizzy. Having formed the best seal you can, you blow. Much of the air comes out covering the exterior of the tube, a fact that is easy to see as it begins to frost over. Seeing a potential new ability, you continue. Ice forms, blocking the airflow. Unfortunately, it's too late to stop the gas's effects. You collapse to the floor, your final conscious thought being, ice breath. Neat. End chapter 1. Would you like to save your game?
I forgot to do a quick save before any of our actions. I need to remember that for chapter 2, because otherwise we're starting over from scratch. And I think double L might kill us if I say reload from
Are
the
we
start.
allowed to do that? No. Well, end chapter 1. Would you like to save your game? This seems like we're progressing regardless.
Yes. My concern is the morsels in the inventory. Like, what's going to happen to them? Perhaps the dust bunnies will whisk them off to safety. Or perhaps we can rely on them to save us at the beginning of chapter 2, so long as they don't find the inventory that we have somewhere on our lizardy person. I would almost call shenanigans about making the proper seal with our lips because we can speak, which would imply a degree of lip dexterity, but we don't know what we're speaking, technically. Deli can understand us, but he's a mouse. That doesn't really qualify anything. So, okay. I had assumed, and you know what happens when you assume? On the floor.
You get what on the floor?
Gassed.
Oh, yeah. We did that. I don't know. We'll figure out what happens next time. We'll save our game, right? Save it.
All right, save the game. I'm going to look for a strategy guide in the meanwhile.
Okay, so that's what you think you're going to find. All right, question from Dove. Okay, this has gone on long enough, and I am damn tired of it. Settle it once and for all. Who wins in a fight? Bunnicula, the veggie-drinking pet vampire rabbit, or Count Duckula, the vegetarian wannabe superstar vampire duck? Or the mystery third option, Ducky from The Land Before Time.
You leave Ducky out of this. She's a good girl who doesn't need to be involved with these shenanigans.
Ducky did nothing wrong.
That and Ducky would win anyway, because she's got Spike as her backup, and you can't beat Spike. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. True.
I'm going to give this to Bunnicula, because I'm not really familiar with the animated version. I'm more familiar with the original books. And by familiar, that was like grade 3. But regardless, that's what I know. And that particular bunny had the family fooled, and for the longest time, the 2 other pets. So Bunnicula is rather cunning. Duckula is an idiot.
Is he? I don't remember.
Yes. It's been a long time since I saw Duckula, but he is an idiot. He is a buffoon. Mm-hmm. He is oblivious to the world around him or the machinations of his servants. Nah, that rabbit's going to run circles around him mentally and physically.
Well then. Makes sense. Hero Squad asks, Animaniacs but with Majin Chicken Boo. How it go? I
love this.
I know just enough about Majin Boo. Yeah.
I love this a lot, and I want the Team 4-Star guys to do this properly.
Yeah.
I want this very much. My 2 big questions of this scenario are, number 1, how true to character is Chicken Boo? Is he, because Majin Buu is a creature of pure evil. Fat Boo aside, that's a whole lot. We're not going to get into the full lore here. Generally speaking, Majin Buu is a genocidal demon of terrifying magical and physical prowess. How much does Chicken Boo emulate this? Is it just wearing the puffy pants and going and nobody picks up on it? Or does he go up to Kami's lookout, crows at the rising sun, and eliminates the human population? How evil is Majin Buu? BOO. That's going to affect the comedy. And both answers are correct.
Yes.
I'm just questioning which way we go with it.
Uh-huh.
Question number 2 is, there's always somebody who sees through the disguise. Who is it who can tell he's just a giant chicken? Is it Goku? Because he's not going to care. He enjoys the fight, and he probably thinks it's funny.
Well, yeah.
Is it Vegeta? Because he's going to be pissed off that everybody's taking this giant chicken seriously. Why is everyone accepting that this is a real adversary? No, he didn't sell his soul to Bobbity for this. He wants a real opponent, not a giant chicken. Is it Bulma, the only non-fighter and the smartest person in the room in any scene in Dragon Ball? Everybody's freaking out over this world-ending event. She's just like, it's a giant chicken. Why are we having this discussion? It's a giant chicken. Is it Trunks who's looking at all the adults freaking out over this going, it's a giant chicken. Why are we doing this? Just fricassee it. Is it Mr. Satan? Is he the only one who's not freaked out and thus he's the one who can make peace with the giant chicken? Because it's just a giant chicken. He's seen this bit before. He was selling cars like this a few years ago before he made it big. He knows a giant chicken. Why are you all afraid? Universally, though, Gohan buys into it. Yes, I know he's smart. I don't care. He thinks it's an evil threat from the very beginning.
Well, I mean, he is, obviously.
And Piccolo's going to take it at face value because he's seen all sorts of crazy crap. You know, it doesn't matter if the pink demon is a chicken. It's still pink demon. He'll be fine with it. He'll go with it.
Yeah. You wear a disguise to act like Saiyan, guys, but you're not a man. You're a Majin Buu.
See, you could go for real dark comedy here because, you know, one of Majin Buu's things is he turns people into cookies or candy and eats them, getting their power. Chicken Boo's a chicken. He doesn't swallow things whole. He pecks at it.
Yeah.
So he's going to turn somebody into a giant cookie and just pick it to pieces. And that's
peck.
That's even worse.
Nappa realizes he's a giant chicken. Screams.
But he's dead. He can't really do anything about it.
All right, next question.
What does the scouter say about his power level? He's covered in 11 herbs and spices.
Delicious. All right, next question. Ian Flynn giveth, and Ian Flynn taketh. Were you aware of Super Mario Kun when you made the Mario pitch to Archie? It's the same idea as your Archie Mario pitch.
Not the Super Mario Kun I'm familiar with.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, what? Not really? Like,
I mean, if you want to zoom out to the point and say it takes the game and tries to give a cohesive narrative through it, sure. But Super Mario Kun is hilarious. It is goofy.
Yeah.
The Archie pitch was like trying to give a serious through line. There's nothing alike.
It was more serious, yeah. I say.
And honestly, putting the two side by side, Super Mario Kun was better.
Both are Mario.
You say that? You didn't even write it. I know. Tracy Yardley's art would be fantastic. It would.
Yeah.
Super Mario Kun would have been better.
Well, hey, you know what? Both are Mario IP and sequential art, so of course they are the same. Quishpin asks, I need help with world building. My protagonists start out in a dark future cyberpunk city that is walled off from the outside world and eventually escape. The world outside has a lot more fantastical and apocalyptic elements. How do I make the transition to fantasy less jarring?
Why would you want to make it less jarring?
I think the whole point is kind of that it is jarring.
Right. The city is walled off, so whoever is administrating it wants to deny the people inside everything that is outside. Why is that? What is it about the outside world that the powers that be want to regulate? Why do they want to deny the people that? To what end? Why is the city walled off? Is it for their protection? Is it to exploit some kind of ecological thing? Why is the city walled off from this outside world? And if you are going for an extremely stark cyberpunk interior fantasy outside, I don't think you can make it not jarring because they are very different aesthetics.
Right.
So I would say lean into it. You have your characters exiting out into Midgard here.
No,
that's got to be a big deal.
Oh, wait. No. Okay. See, and here I was thinking Final Fantasy VII, with the city of Midgard.
Yeah.
And then they're leaving Midgard. Right. And then
leaving Midgard into the greater world.
Into the greater world, which is, not a big cyberpunk city like Midgard is. Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Now, this isn't necessarily a good transition. Like, are they going out there and it is a world of horrors because it's completely alien to them? Is it a world of possibility because they're now outside of the restrictions? Is it just so alien that they don't even know how they feel about it? It's like, okay, this is, how do they deal with it? But Unless, if you want it so that it isn't that big of a jump for them, then you need to establish that they know of it while they're in the city. You need illustrations and set pieces that show evidence of that outside world. Like maybe the street vendor is serving up unicorn shank, or the newscast is talking about the dangers of the outside world and that dragon that just can't get over the wall. Aren't we happy that our corporate overlords have a wall to keep the dragon out? That kind of thing. They need to know about it so that when they get out there, it's like, okay, we're just walking through the fence gate. It isn't leaving the only world that they know.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think you would be better served leaning into it, especially if it is a very stark visual and tonal shift.
All right. Our last question before I take a break is from Lord Head Cheese. Congratulations on the release of Drogoon. You and Adam Bryce Thomas did a fantastic job, and I look forward to more. Now to make it more silly. The main cast are now contestants on a series of Taskmaster. How does it go and who wins?
I had to look this up because we don't have that over here.
Nope.
As far as I know. But for those who don't know, it's a comedy show where comedians are brought on and given various challenges to complete, and they are scored arbitrarily on how well they complete those challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily physical challenges. Some of them are brain teasers. Some of them are... It's a very broad concept, and it usually just ends in hilarity and uncomfortable situations for everybody. Hence the hilarity. Arbitrary is a very good word to apply to this show from what I've seen. So in any given particular situation, whatever challenge they're thrown into, Foreign is going to overthink it. He's going to actually try to win the game. He's going to try to think of the best scenario, and it's going to blow up in his face, and everyone laughs at him. Jobin's going to take the most direct and usually reasonable answer to this, which somehow plays to his favor. If it's something that he has to do a simple misdirection, he just hides the keys or something, and the other person cannot find them for the life of them, and they're expecting something more. They're expecting some kind of comedy or trickery, and Jobin's just Wind is going to make it worse. I don't know how. It really doesn't matter. She's going to make it worse. Is it on fire? It will be. Is it already on fire? It could be more on fire. She will find ways to wreck the set in ways that were not intended, and watching the crew run in to try to salvage things is where the funny comes from. Lissy misses the point entirely and tries to be helpful. And it's so saccharine and uplifting that you can't really penalize her for it, so she wins every round.
Of course she does. How could you say no to that face?
You cannot. It is impossible.
Exactly. And just like you can't say no to this break, we'll be back with more on the BumbleKast.
Now wait just a...
We're the bee and the berry. I'm the bee.
Jobs. No, I'm the bee.
Oh, my bad. We can cut that, right?
No, we can cut that.
Okay. We're the bee and the berry.
I'm the bee.
And I'm Strawberry.
And The Bee and the Berry is an irregularly scheduled podcast where we talk all things Sonic, writing fan fiction, and fan creation.
We snoop around at fan events, review the latest and hottest Sonic content, and host interviews with our fellow Sonic fan creators.
You know, just girly things.
And hey, if you want, you can totally send us any discussion topics or questions you'd like us to talk about, and we might answer them.
Or we might not.
But hey, you never know. You can find us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Tumblr, and YouTube at The Bee the Berry.
Okay, we're running out of time here. Gotta grow fast.
Ciao!
We're back, and we get a question from Mello. What are some common and not so common jobs, trades, or industries in Ajeheim? If it's alright to specify, if it's not too spoilery to delve into, I'm curious about both before and after its annexation by Galaxant.
The thing with Drogoon is I want it to be very open-ended, and I don't want it to fall into the same trap that so many fantasy and sci-fi series do, where the magical species has one role. You know, the Klingons are all honorable warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Jabba the Hutt, well, he's a crime lord. That means all Hutts are crime lords. Never mind, I thought Hut was a title, because you don't have Han Solo the human. That's stupid. Why does Jabba say, "Hi, I'm the Hut"? It's a title. It should have been a title, and I will always be salty about that. So, with Drogoon...
Are you telling me that the blue hedgehog's middle name isn't the?
You know what? See, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. I want it to... With Drogoon, doesn't matter what realm you go to, you will find tradespeople and artists and musicians and politicians and soldiers and good people and bad people and scammers and all walks of life. Everyone can do just about anything. You're not going to have an Ajay show up and go, "Oh, he's an Ajay. That's like a Bothan. It must be a spy." No, the Ajay can be anything. The nuance comes from what does the realm limit in terms of accessibility. Like, Ajayheim is dominated by trees. Like, think of a major downtown hub with your high-rises and your condos and stuff, but make that trees. Mm-hmm. You don't have a lot of open plains for arable ground or for grazing animals. So for agriculture, they have to do something different. They have to cultivate the detritus that amasses at the roots hundreds of stories down in the darkness. They have to cultivate species that will grow on the tree side or off the branches, the flowers that grow there, the plants that can grow off of it. Instead of casting nets into the water for fish, they're casting nets to catch birds or flying animals. What about the realm defines how those jobs work? Artists, what supplies can you make from the trees that you have around them, from the leaves, from the pollen, from what's at the base of the trees, from the animals around you? What do you do to make your art? And what can you import? How do elements that come from Drofheim and Ermenheim or whatever change the way you do your art? And what happens if that supply line gets cut off? How is it different 1,000 years ago before you had those supply lines to now? What is the music like? What can you make instruments from? What are the policies like because of the way that the culture has grown up and because of Galaxan's outside influence? There is a million answers to be had for Ajayheim and for any of the realms. And that's why I'm so excited about Drogoon, is because you can tell any story here about any type of person. And it's also terrifying because you can tell any story, and where am I going to find the time to do all this?
Well, I think Mel is asking specifically because they have created their own Drogoon character for the Drogoon tabletop game that you have put out there on the Drogoon Patreon. So
it is very much a work in progress. And Mello, whatever you have created, it is not wrong. That is the beauty of Drogoon. If it's a reasonable enough a character within what you know already of the universe, you're already dead on. And you can adjust as I release more information as time goes on, depending on how accurate you want to be. But one of the fundamental principles of Drogoon is that people are people. So your character, wherever or however they exist in Ajayheim, is legit. And that's so exciting to me. It's so much freedom for you and anybody else getting into it. In terms of how Galaxan affected it, that is a very, very, very broad question, because Ajayheim was annexed in during the Century campaign. That was roughly 1,000 years ago. There has been a lot of political and social change over that time. So it's very hard to... Rather, I don't want to spend another 2 hours explaining the entire history of this imaginary place. Just to answer your question. Suffice to say, Galaxan is kind of the foundation where all the problematic aspects of Ajayheim's culture not necessarily stems from, but has been reinforced by.
Alrighty. The chat is saying, go on, make this a 2-hour BumbleKast.
We have other questions from our patrons.
Yes.
Over the plug.
Well,
it's not the Drogoon show yet. It's the BumbleKast.
We'll have the Drogooner cast soon enough. Moolah Man asks, confession, that King Ian question was supposed to end with me saying I turn to Kyle and ask how badly he loses it all and how slow and torturous his death was. Why'd I change that? Too predictable. What if we genuinely wanted to hear how he did it? Be honest, based on your reactions, that was the right call, wasn't it? P.S. I was expecting Ian to say he was expecting to lose it all and die.
I don't even remember what we said.
I don't remember this. Sorry, Moolah Man.
I was king?
I mean, you are the Bumble King. Is that?
I am the Bumble King. Emphasis on the Bumble.
Yeah. I don't remember this exactly, but,
Well, here's a revised version then. In the infinite possibilities of the multiverse, there was a version of me that was not me and managed to bring world peace and discover interdimensional travel and is going to show up to our world any day now with his giant flying spaceship of good fortunes and solve all our problems. And he's going to come to me and say, this is what you did with your version of us. No judgment, buddy. I'm here to fix things. I'm like, thank you, please. And then he flies off to fix another Earth, and we live happily ever after, all of us.
Perfect. We got a question here from Noni. Congrats on Drogoon being released. So do you think Foreign can beat Moist Critical for Sexiest Furry this year as a Dark Horse competitor, or do you think you can get the nomination pushed to next year?
I was not aware of this particular competition.
What? I don't understand. Is Moist Critical a furry? I mean, good for him. He can do whatever he wants.
It's not my domain that I particularly dwell in, so...
Okay, well, there's a lot of pictures of him hanging out with people in fursuits. That's cool.
Okay, well, you know what? If someone wants to nominate Foreign, and if he wins, congratulations, buddy. Wear that crown with pride.
I think he would... I think he could beat Moist Critical. Yeah, he could. That's not a high bar. Here's one from Pale. Congrats on finally releasing Drogoon. I just finished reading it and oh my god, it's so good. Okay, so literally all of these characters are incredible, but me, being the normal person I am, have elected Ser Lux as my favorite character of all of them. What was your mindset when creating him? Is there anything you can tease about his future? Why is he so beautiful? Tell us all the Ser Lux things, please.
Talking about looks is difficult because he is very much tied to the greater narrative. He is the principal antagonist to Drogoon Fortune's Lap. So talking about him in any great detail is very spoilery. Suffice to say, if you've listened to this show at all, you know how much I love duality in narratives.
Mm-hmm.
And looks is the antithesis of Wind. Wind is small and scrappy and not conventionally attractive. And Lux is tall and statuesque and gorgeous. He is meant to be the temptation. You're supposed to look at him and go, why do you have to be evil? Could you be good for just 1 minute, please? I want folks to look at him and go, I could fix him. And I go, no, you really can't. And you go, well, he can ruin me. That's okay.
Meanwhile, the Drogoon chat thirsting over Wind over here.
As long as people are happy. Thematically, Lux is a cautionary tale about Wind. Wind grew up, she's born a god, but she grew up under a couple of mana hunting schmucks. She knows what it's like to be hungry. She knows what it's like to really have to work for just making ends meet. She's met all sorts of people from all over and knows their struggles and knows that things are very imbalanced and everybody's just trying to get by and what it means to come together for everyone's benefit. But what if it hadn't gone that way? What if she was given absolute unchecked power? What if she had the authority to do whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted, and rarely faced any consequences? Instead of having a full kit of top-of-the-line magical armor and stuff, what if her raw talent could just be on display whenever she wanted? For someone who exults in showing off and, consuming as much as she wants. She would destroy an entire bag of chips and a jar of salsa without utensils. Open her mouth and shovel in. You can't stop her. If you had that level, but on a political stage, how corrupt could she potentially be? What would that kind of power look like? And that's looks. Looks is the bad path for Wind. And as things progress, should certain doors open, would she take that path if offered to her now?
Alrighty. Well, there's some excitement going on in the chat for sure.
I will say we only got a taste of looks because book 1 really need to focus on introducing the world and the core cast and their dynamics. But book 2, we're going to be seeing a lot more of Luke's and why he is such a bad man.
Luke's got the Lukes. Professor Scruffymet has a question. Merry Christmas, Ian. I got you the best gift of all, a Professor Oak challenge. This way of playing Pokemon games requires you fill the Pokedex as much as possible prior to collecting each gym badge, or equivalent, without trading or using mystery gifts. Not only must you catch every possible Pokemon, but evolve them too. Which game will you choose, and how long will you last before you rage quit? Hypothetically, of course. Oh, and Kyle, your Christmas gift is to watch this mess play out.
Well, I would think the easiest option would just be red or blue. Because, number one,
the chat called it.
It's only 150.
Uh-huh.
And the key word there is catch all that is possible before each gym badge. So if you can't trade and you can't do mystery gift, then that right there eliminates all of the version exclusives because you cannot possibly get them. And then the route between gyms has 5 critters per path. And it's a lot of grinding, but that's how it do.
You can do the Let's Go Pokemon games, Pikachu or...
I mean, it'd be more visually appealing, I guess. But if you're in there for the grind, I'm perfectly fine with the 8-bit sprites. I'm seeing the same thing over and over again. Might as well go for the nostalgia.
All right, Rabbit Haver has a pretty lengthy question here. In an interview for a documentary on NASA's Voyager mission, Timothy Ferris, the producer of The Golden Record, had this to say: I became the producer of only one record in my career, and only 2 copies of it were made, and they were both hurled off the Earth, so I don't know if that's a credential or not. Now it's your turn, boys! It's been almost 48 years since the Voyagers were launched, but through time travel shenanigans, you have both been allowed to choose one song each to add to the record. Remember, it will only be part of 90 minutes of music to outlive our sun, so make it count. This could very well be the last vestige of humanity 4 billion years from now. So what do you choose? P.S. Rickrolling doesn't count. Someone on Twitter beat you to it in 2012. One of the tweets beamed into space was the lyrics to Never Gonna Give You Up.
Well, I know what my answer is going to be. Kyle, do you know what you want to send?
I have 2 that's kind of a toss-up. Either Let's Go Away from Daytona, USA, or Moon Over the Castle from Gran Turismo. Those are mine.
Quality choices.
One of the two.
Mine is a full 90-minute seamless loop of Nyan Cat.
It can't be 90 minutes. It has to be part of 90 minutes. It can't be it can't be the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Oh.
The aliens will find the last vestiges of humanity. What they get is the disc itself will be etched so that if you spin it, it looks like the little Pop-Tart cat is perpetually running through space, trailing a rainbow.
Okay. All right, that works. Whatever. Soccer God has a question. Jennie Curran from Forrest Gump versus Michelangelo from TMNT versus Marie Antoinette from the French Revolution. How does that play out? I like how the French Revolution is included in this like a TV show. Yes, the TV show French Revolution.
On this season of France Revolution. Me boat, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Stop. Down, boy.
Let them eat pizza.
Mikey would help them both get over their inner demons, get over themselves, get past their hang-ups, and come out as better people on the other side. Jennie, he gets to Jennie right before she makes some of her more crucial mistakes, so she stays healthy and lives happily ever after in a nice long life. And Madame Antoinette keeps her head and leads proper revolution to the French into a new golden age. And Mikey is just the best ever because he's the best turtle and he's the party dude and he gets all the pizza.
Well, good. Let him eat pizza.
He would also agree with my Nyan Cat decision. You know he would.
Of course he would. Spoiler 1001 has a question. How do you keep yourself from overthinking and getting lost in the details when writing a project?
Bold of you to assume.
Good luck.
When it comes to, well, deadlines are always a good thing in that regard because you got to get it done. If it's a personal project and you have all the time in the world, then you need to, for me at least, I need to put in some kind of parameter. I need a benchmark. I need some kind of limitation that allows me to color within the lines. With Drogoon Fortune's Lap, it's a big book. It's 80 pages. A lot of content got shuffled around and cut and revised and whatnot. And part of what helped me zero in was saying it's an 80-page book. I'm familiar with writing stories that will be collected in trade that go to 80 pages. So that amount of time and flow is familiar to me. Lock it in. But what if I want to do another extra 5 pages? No, 80 pages. But I want to explore this little subset. No, 80 pages. What is the story? What do you have to tell to get it across? What are the key moments that have to be conveyed to understand the characters and the setting and have a satisfying resolution? Make it fit in 80 pages. Okay, I did that, but this one segment is a little wide. Okay, revise and have a little fun. Explore the detail a little more. Everything's really crammed in there tight. Cut things out. But I want to cut things out. Cut it out. Get the machete. You must leave what you love to get it done. That may not be the way for you. But any kind of creative endeavor, you need to find the system that works for you personally and within your craft. For me, I need some kind of external structure to call upon and work within.
Alrighty, here's one from Switchel. Stanley once said something to the effect of whoever would win in a fight is always whoever the writer wants to win in the fight. So, with that in mind, Ian, Superman versus Kyle. How does Kyle just completely solo Superman? Kyle, you don't have any kryptonite, but you do have a really big stick. How big are you talking
here's
here?
The thing. That's a baseball bat size. It's a decent sized stick.
Okay.
What they didn't account on is it's Kryptonian hemlock.
What?
See,
okay.
Kryptonite, just the base mineral, is toxic to Kryptonians once they've been exposed to yellow sunlight. Red wavelength sunlight depletes some of their power really darn quick. Stuff from Krypton seems to be built to kill Kryptonians, so it's just a normal piece of wood from Krypton, just happened to get blown across space through a portal or something. I don't know. Somebody turned on the Phantom Zone projector. It fell out. Whatever. You got a big stick made out of Kryptonian hemlock.
Cool.
And Superman's like, that looks oddly familiar. And you're like, yeah, you want to see a closer look? And whammo.
Superman is weak to magic. It's not magic, but it's close enough.
The stick is a magic wand.
Well, yeah, if you want to go the easy route, but then you have to speak backwards for the magic to work.
Oh, well, I mean, it's not impossible. I just have to practice. Here's a question from Tetsuya the Wise. Did you know that James Olin, creative director at BioWare from 1998 to 2011, once pitched an MMORPG based off the Dark Tower series in 2005? Obviously, that never came to be, but what sort of game do you think would work best for the series? RPG, first-person shooter, point-and-click adventure, etc.?
Oh, my goodness. An MMO RPG.
That would have been something. I mean, it was like This was during the WoW hype era because it was 2005. The game had just come out and it was blowing up, so it makes sense.
Yeah, would it be Gilad in its height, or would it be after the world moved on? Could you go to Tull yourself and clear it out? God, that's dark. What kind of game? I don't know, to be perfectly honest, because I feel like trying to do an adaptation would be a disservice to both. The way that the books are paced, the way that they tell their story isn't conducive to gameplay, I don't think. And a game trying to bend itself into an accurate retelling wouldn't be a very fun game. You could maybe do point and click, which is already fairly narrative driven. Have a little maybe first person shooter mini game in there somewhere. Having you locked into Blaine's riddle game where you have to choose your answer could be appropriately horrifying. But I don't know how well it would go for a game if you're doing like Roland's story specifically. If you were to do something set within the world of the Dark Tower, that might be more accessible. Pick your region, pick your time period, follow another wayward gunslinger maybe. Give yourself more freedom creatively to do what you want and make a game make the game first and then have the narrative actually fit into it rather than try to make sense of Roland's story as a game. And in that approach, you could make it just about anything. You could make it a traditional RPG. You could make it a first-person shooter. You could do anything. It's what is the game, and then with the setting, what is the story that best fits that style of game?
That makes some sense to me, I suppose.
Or would it really just be like a very, very different version of Red Dead Redemption when you get down to
it? Red Dead Redemption with a bit more of horror and magical bent to it? Is Dark Tower that magical? I guess it is.
It's science fantasy, really. Yeah. It's got high fantasy and sci-fi in there.
Yeah. Yeah, Stephen King does do some of that sometimes. Makes some sense.
I mean, actually,
maybe it's
who asked that question?
Tetsuya.
Quispin. Sorry, Quishpin earlier. Their setting sounds very much like Dark Tower, both cyberpunk, sci-fi, dark apocalypse, and high fantasy, also apocalypse.
Well then, maybe it's a gacha style game with a bunch of anime waifus.
I would actually be physically ill.
I figured you would be. That's what every game is nowadays, though.
Yeah, that would actually make me mad. I can feel my pulse rising. No, Sai. We're not good. Ripes. Go. There are other pulls than these. Absolutely not.
You gotta pull on that banner if you want your favorite.
Long days and pleasant banners, gunslinger. No.
Oh no, everyone's been Rule 63'd. You'd play it. You may not like you.
I might take the $1 billion if it's that rather than look after the rabbit. But yeah, maybe
you may not like it, but you'd play it. You don't want to. You don't want to
give me enough money to C6 Roland and Ben Roland. Sure, whatever.
You don't want. You don't want a gunslinger anime girl. I mean, that's all I want. To be fair. Twilord asks, I blindsided someone a while ago asking their opinion on a promotional animation for a franchise they know nothing about. A promotional animation you worked on. Seems fair to do the inverse. Your thoughts on this? And then Twilord sends us a link to Digimon Storytime Stranger, the anime short.
So I'm a little confused. You say a promotional animation you worked on. I had no hand in this.
No. I think they asked someone else about a promotional animation. They sent someone a promotional animation that you worked on and asked them about it. So now they're asking you about a promotional animation for a franchise you didn't work on and know nothing about.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, did watch it, and I want to preface this that if you enjoyed it, that is valid, and I'm glad you did, and I don't want anything I say to poison your enjoyment.
That's a pretty. That's a pretty. That's a mean disclosure. Is something.
I know Digimon is near and dear to Twilord's heart.
Yes,
and it's not my bag. So this is pearls before swine. Okay? I couldn't stop laughing at it.
Oh no.
The slow and not somber, but the music itself was not befitting the action taking place in the trailer. The stakes at which we are presented were corny.
Mm-hmm.
When the one character is revealed dead, I laughed especially hard. I'm sorry, but it was so trope-tastic. I kind of expected them to do it sooner. The one character saying, they're making this ultimate sacrifice because you helped me. It's like, you shoulder tackled a goblin who looked confused about this gnat that bounced off them. You didn't do diddly. It felt like they were trying to take something very all ages child geared and make it grim and self-serious while maintaining that very cartoony vibe. I realize, coming from my background and what I have worked on, the hypocrisy is rank. I fully acknowledge this. And that's why I make the preface earlier, because it is the pot calling the kettle black. Absolutely. I'm not denying that. But for someone on the outside who isn't steeped in the lore and who doesn't have that bias, I came away from it going, you can't be serious. Please, no. Yeah, no, this is legit. This is how they are selling the product. Okie dokie.
So apparently this is exactly the same reaction that the person had to your work that Twilord sent to.
And you know what? I don't know what they showed specifically, but valid.
I'm assuming it was the black hedgehog thing that you worked on. I'm assuming that.
Yep. If you know what that is and you're deeply invested, it was a moving and transcendent experience. If not, you're looking at this going, what are they smoking?
Why is this so dramatic?
Yeah, no, I completely get it. I 100% get it. So if you are big into Digimon and you are watching this thing going, oh my God, they have finally done it. They have achieved this goal. They have reached a level of storytelling that I have been striving for all this time, and you're super happy and excited for it. I am legit happy for you. Ignore everything I said. I'm an idiot. Love it. Embrace it. No shame there.
Perfect. Twilord is apparently very pleased with this answer, so.
Okay.
And our last question on this episode is from none other than Vineclad. It feels like every day companies are finding new ways to be anti-consumer that range between mildly annoying to absolutely infuriating. Please share with us some examples that you consider too extortionist in practice. Any company that actively harms the right to repair is one in my book that I'm not pleased with.
It's been a lot of discussion lately, but the ownership of the thing that you purchase is a big talking point.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you buy a thing, it's yours now. You're not licensing it. You want it to have it.
Sorry, I got it. It's mine now. I do what I want with it.
Yeah. I kind of hope this does see a resurgence of physical media, because the streaming stuff was neat for a time, but it's dead. you spend more trying to cobble together your cable package through the 100 different streaming services, and they don't have what you want anyway. It's obnoxious. It's ridiculous. They ruined a good thing. Bring back the DVDs.
Yeah. It's I don't know. There's so much out there. It's hard to really narrow down exactly what is what, but it's like, if there's too much, honestly. It's like, I can't. What? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, finish your thought.
Oh, because I don't have any more thoughts right now.
Some of the early feedback I got with Drogon Fortune's Lab is somebody got the digital version and we're so happy there was no DRM on the file.
Yeah.
And I had to stare at it, the reply going, DRM on a book?
Yeah.
You read the book, you buy the book, you read the book, you have the book. It's that simple. Why would you put DRM on a book?
Wow.
For pity's sake.
Yeah, I mean, that's all Kindle is DRM.
Like, I understand with digital media, it's very, very difficult to curb piracy.
Right.
And the myth that piracy actually helps sales has been debunked. I mean, sure, it might proliferate to audiences that wouldn't normally get it, and in some cases does preserve material when the original creators are not doing that. I understand that angle, but it does not promote sales. It very definitely hurts sales for large companies and especially for smaller publishers and indies. So I understand wanting to find ways to prevent that, but punishing people for buying something and putting an extra padlock on it is asinine. There has to be a better way. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But DRM on a graphic novel? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like you buy the physical version of the book and it comes with a bike lock on it. Upgrade now for the actual combination so you can read your product. No.
I'm reminded of, actually, it used to be worse back in the old days. You buy a game and you could only authenticate it with the company's servers a limited number of times. And if those servers ever went down, you were screwed and you had a nice, lovely paperweight. Or a beautiful, beautiful coaster in the form of the disc. But no game. Thanks, EA. Luckily, they stopped doing that so much. But yeah, it was really bad at that point. But yeah, we're kind of getting back to some of that, and it's horrifying. Like dongles for software. I hate that personally. That whole thing drives me insane. Like, no, I don't want that, please.
No. Now, we often speak quite favorably of Genshin Impact because we enjoy the game.
Yeah.
You know, we specify it's a gambling game, so buyer beware. But
it really is, yes.
You know, we've talked about how generous it can generally be and yada, yada. But most recently, there was an aspect of the game where if you got one of the high-level rare characters, you could complete a quest line that can only be initiated by them and get a small reward from it that could add up towards one of the gacha rolls. No, but yeah, it's an achievement that can only be achieved with this one particular character. And granted, it's...
Oh, yeah, okay.
Now, granted, it's a pittance. Like, it's only 5 primos. But it is still a tangible reward of value. There's another character that's coming out soon that will be more common and comparatively easier to get that you can conceivably unlock this quest line and get. But that still requires you to roll for this character, achieve this character, and go through the rigmarole. So, and regardless, that's still 2 characters out of what? 100?
More than
that
100
can
at this point now, yeah.
Yeah, that can access this quest line to eventually get this one small reward. I don't care how small the reward is. It is still a tangible, accumulative reward that you cannot access without pulling the lever on the slot machine. That pisses me off.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? There's a whole one of the anecdotes with Llama. If you don't have Llama, you can't get past it, and you don't get it.
Yeah, you miss like a scene, which is obnoxious, which is lost content, but there's not a reward necessarily from that.
Mm-hmm.
With Flints, you get additional scenes and interaction objects and stuff, which is lost content, but it's not a reward itself necessarily.
Okay.
I'm still not happy with that locked content. That's still scummy, but it's still incidental material.
I thought there was an achievement tied to that too. That's what I thought you were referring to. I didn't know.
Maybe.
Okay.
Nefer unlocks that particular quest line that leads to an achievement that gets the primos.
Yeah.
And Yehoda presumably will be able to get you that as well. But regardless of it's just extra material that you can look up online later, or those 5 primos that you're shoveling into the pile to get a wish, it's still material that you cannot access unless you pull the lever. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Up to this point, all the characters that you could get, they're pretty much equivalent in terms of the content that you receive. There's extra stuff for the individual character, sure, but it's not impacting the primary gameplay.
Right.
And you can get by on just the free stuff if you put your time and energy into it. This is like direct gameplay stuff and rewards that are locked behind characters, and that's no bueno.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah.
And speaking of games, I'm still mad that the actual ending to Ashura's Wrath was DLC. Paid DLC.
Yeah, I think it was.
Inexcusable.
Yeah. Aaliyah brings up in the chat that she still has this mentality of $60 being the price of an entire game. I'm sorry, that hasn't been the case for nearly 2 decades. Ooh.
And I'm not opposed to DLC in principle if it gives you additional content, more gameplay, more, you're paying money for a product. But the base product still needs to be a complete idea, a complete experience.
Mm-hmm.
If you nickel and dime for all the extra stuff, no. There was a fighting game not too long ago. Maybe it was one of the Dead or Alives. I don't remember, where the base game, I think, was free or very low entry fee and had the full roster and stages and whatnot and was completely playable. And then the monetization was all the costumes and all the extra tracks and all the extra stuff was individually earmarked.
Right.
And there was a lot of gnashing of teeth over that. That one I'm not opposed to necessarily. You had a decent sized roster. You had, from what I remember, decent selection of stages and music tracks, and it was the core fighting game. And if you wanted the extras for your favorite, for your main or whatnot, pay a little bit extra. That doesn't bump for me as much as, here is your 8 fighter roster, but there's another 12 locked behind the DLC paywall. It's on the disc back when they were on discs. But you can't do it till you pay an extra money. No, it's on the disc. That's the game. Give me the content I purchased,
Right. Yeah. There's just a lot of this, and it's not just games, but I know we tend to talk about games a lot on this show, but it's definitely not just games. Like locking features out of your car. It's there. That's stuff you can use, stuff that's there, putting heated seats behind a paywall. No,
that should be criminal. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like if you want to buy a car that's stripped down on features for economic sake, sure.
Yes.
Give that option. But if it's fully kitted out, you've bought those features. They are physically present.
Right. Yeah, it's bad. It's getting real bad.
There was I'll never buy another HB product because never mind how invasive their software was. But then they were off. There was something like you had to have a regular subscription fee just to use the printer.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Not a subscription fee to refill your ink, because that's already something. But you can't use the printer that you physically own unless you pay the subscription fee. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got sued for that, which thankfully. Good. Yeah.
Not that anybody who made that decision would have suffered the consequences. But
no, of course not. Oy. Well, on that mildly annoying and absolutely infuriating note.
See, this is why you need to support the BumbleKast. You send us your money, you send us your questions, and we give you answers. We never guarantee that they're good answers, but you get answers.
Yes.
Unless you spend money to troll us, in which case that's violation of terms, and that's your own fault.
And we don't put DRM on our shows. We put ads in them, but
well, that's
get over
paid service. We got to eat too.
Anyway, are we done here?
We're very done.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to all our wonderful DRM free patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members. Yeah, let's not even get started on YouTube's policies. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Check out drogun.com, DROGUNE.com. Please, pretty please, I'll be your friend. Also, KNGI.com. .org. This is so easy while you read your Drogun. There you go. We'll see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Bye. KNGI.com. It's .org.
Did you see the Homestar Runner update?
Yes, I did with the Flushy Trogdor. Yeah. Good.
25 years, homestarrunner.com, and he's just homestarrunner.com. Breaks the screen. That was 26.
Whoops.
Here's the thing, though. If designed right, Fim Roland would be badass, and I hate that you put that image in my head. Like, it basically would be a mashup of Beto and Chaska, and that's really cool, and I hate it.
Eating potatoes episode.
Yeah, with a side of rice and chitlins.
Oh.
I haven't had dinner yet. I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah, me too.
Well, then let's get through this.
Let's get through this one.
Well, let me know when you're ready.
Let's go.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
Do you have to help Lee again?
No, Meebo's gotten to the age where if he's not getting the attention he wants right now, he knows to cause mischief.
That'll get your attention.
Walk across my keyboard and try to knock over the mic stand? Oh, that didn't work. Well, I'll go over and chew on the pillows. Don't chew on the
Oh, he's turning into a rambunctious little rambunctious.
The little Dickens.
Uh-huh.